Smith, there's been a lot flying around on the internet in regards to, that slap that you gave to the unformidable Chris Rock, physically unformidable person, yeah? I'm sure you regret it, you've already apologized. I'm not speaking about the morality or immorality of that. I want to dig deeper into something which I feel is at the crux of the issue, which I think may be, okay, and I'm not trying to diagnose you particularly, but I'm just putting out there, an issue of cognitive dissonance that you actually have. Now, cognitive dissonance, for those who don't know, is when you have, conflicting attitudes or beliefs about something, right? Which causes you uncomfort from a psychological perspective. Now, what exactly am I talking about? Look, think about it, right? You probably are a consumer of feminist ideology. And the reason why I say that is because you're in an open relationship with a woman who's Jada, who's spoken openly and candidly about polyamory and, all these kind of things. So obviously that discourse is antithetical to, say, a nuclear family, setting or arrangement where you have a typical, let's say, traditional roles of males and females. The man is the breadwinner, the woman is the, whatever she is, or she may have more than one role. But that there is some kind of a managerial hierarchy within the household where the man is at the top of that hierarchy. You see, in the traditional roles, you have a managerial hierarchy, and the man has responsibilities, say the responsibilities of protection, of breadwinning, and so on. In exchange, the man has rights, okay, as well, for that breadwinning and for that protection, which are, for example, that the man is to be respected as the, let's say, commander-in-chief, the final decision maker in certain things. And that, of course, there's exclusivity on behalf of the woman, okay, in the relationship. And in some cultures, including the Islamic culture, which I come from, polygyny is allowed. Polygyny meaning that a man can marry multiple women, but a woman, that she cannot do that. So this is the kind of dynamic that we're talking about when we talk about traditional family roles. Obviously, traditionalism is different depending on where you go or what you do. However, what I want to say to you is, think about this for a second, Will Smith, yeah? You got up and slapped a man, okay? Now, I'm not talking about, once again, the morality of it. The point that you felt the need to protect Jada, your partner. Why do you feel a need to protect her? This is my question. Because if you consume a second wave feministic discourse, then it's not about protecting the woman. Because really protection should be split 50-50. A woman should be able to protect herself. In fact, she should be downrightly, right? Appalled at the fact that you, by standing up, doing what you did, that she feels the need to be protected. Because as a feminist, as a person who believes in equal rights, then she should get up herself. Why did she even look at you? I mean, this famously, she looked at you in a certain way and you felt an expectation. But here, therein lies the issue, because therein shows the inconsistency. In a way, you need to feel like you need to uphold traditional roles, the like of which I've already elaborated upon, which can take more than one form and permutation. But at the same time, you feel the need to acquiesce and capitulate to a feministic discourse which indicates equality in all cases. But it's like, in this case, you are conflicted between two different paradigms. The traditionalist paradigm, which says that the man is the protector and that he ought to protect the woman and so on, and the feministic paradigm, which doesn't have any of that. And we're seeing the collapse, as a tangent here, and I'll come back to the point, of the feministic paradigm when it comes to the Ukraine issue right now, which I haven't spoken about because I'm not an expert on it. You'll realize I haven't released any videos because, I don't want to have a half-baked analysis on anything, right? But the point is, with one thing about the Ukraine issue is that men are being forced to fight for their country and women and children can leave. But where are the feminists to say, in fact, this shouldn't be the case because there should be equality, yeah, with men and women in this case, in terms of military, literally putting your life on the line. So we're seeing an inequality there, right? Or an inconsistency there in feministic discourse. It shows the entitlement that feministic discourse actually brings to the table. It's not about actual equality that they want to see manifest in the political, social, and economic sphere, as they claim. It's in fact a matter of getting as much as you can through entitlement as possible. And this is what I think is happening in your relationship, by the way, yeah? So you are conflicted between the traditionalist protective role, get my wife's name out of your effing mouth. Why do you feel the need to say that very loudly? Why? Because you feel like you need to protect her. But once again, the protective aspect of a relationship, yeah, is not required in a feministic relationship. Yeah? If you're walking in the street and someone tries to fight Jada, she should defend herself. She should defend herself. This should be what it is. I want to give you another thought experiment. Now, assume it wasn't Chris Rock that was speaking on the, that you slapped or you hurt him, yeah? Assume it was a woman that you slapped. Assume it was a woman comedian, yeah? Like she was on there and then you slapped her. I believe that the social reaction of these feminist lefty people that I've seen a lot of their kind of articles to see the social reactions, yeah, would have been completely different. Like the fact that many feminists have not considered this, yeah, or lefties or whatever, people on the left in American politics that have put on these opinion, we've seen these kind of like, New York Times opinion articles and so on. We've seen these kinds of things, yeah, where it's not being condemned in the way that it should be, but the question is why, or sometimes even apologetic way that a person shouldn't. I've read one time a person shouldn't accept a joke or something like that. Someone was writing this in a newspaper. The reason why is because deep down, even feminists realize, as with the Ukraine issue, as with the Will Smith issue, they realize there is a disparity here in the way men are being dealt with versus women are being dealt with. But once again, if that disparity exists, why not cater for it in social and political life? So going back to the point, Will Smith, look, your problem is less about Jada Smith. It's not, you cannot, hopefully that's her name, yeah? It's not about that woman. It's more to do with you, bro. Do you know why? Because you haven't chosen a path for yourself. You haven't chosen a path for yourself in relation to morality, in relation to ideology, in relation to what is the purpose of life. These questions have not been answered by you. I'm not going to give you the answers to these questions right now. It's not the time and place for it. But what I am going to say to you, bro, is that once you remove that cognitive dissonance, which you may have, I'm not diagnosing you, yeah, but you may have, I'm just putting it out there, and you start thinking about, you know what, if these are the principles, familial and domestic and so on, principles that I put and live my life with, then I'm gonna follow it through to its logical conclusion. Because why should you, yeah, have to offer an additional protective role to a woman who doesn't believe that it's her right to have it? In fact, it may be insulting on her paradigm for you to offer such a role. Why should you do that? It makes no sense. And with that, I conclude. Goodbye.